Video is a short video about how to basically get into Access if you haven't used it before or you've just used a little bit of it. As we know, it's a database, and when you click on it, it opens up, and it opens up like this. Now, you might need to create a blank database, you might have one already ready, or you might use a template. Okay? We're gonna use one that we've just created, but it's based off the blank database. Before we get into any depth of Access, we'll just quickly say this is the ribbon over here, and basically these are the resources that you will have over here. If we need to go to the back end of it, over here, for example, you'd go. Now, when you start Access with a blank database, you will not have any tables created. We have created one, okay, and we'll show you just quite simply what we're trying to do. Okay, how does Access actually work? It looks a little bit like Excel, and you're creating different tables for different objects. Think of it like that. For example, customers, okay? So all our customers can be in one table, then our orders will be in another table, and for example, employees, purchases, all those will be in separate tables. The idea behind Access, and to make it efficient, is you don't retype all the data that you have in one table in another. For example, in an orders table, you would not be typing Bob, okay, the customer name Bob Smith, his address, etc., and then the items he purchased. Instead, all you'll be using is a customer ID or an ID, which is a primary key over here, okay? And in that table, we will insert this ID number, and it'll be called a foreign key in the other table. That's all. It's just a naming thing. We'll now go ahead and show you how to create a simple table like this. Okay, we've got our customers going. Let's create now a table. Okay, and we will save it as orders. So we'll click save, change that to orders. Okay, and we have here, this is an auto-generated number. You can change them, but we are going to keep it as auto-generated number. We'll change the name to order ID. Okay. And then for our first field, short text, what shall we say? Okay, so for example, we might want to have our order ID. Now we're bringing in our customer ID. This is going to be linked to our customers, okay? And we're going to automatically populate that in a bit. Now, over here, we're going to show you basically, let's say, order date. Okay, so give that a name at the top, order date, and then shipping date. We're keeping it simple. Okay, so just like Excel, now you'd fill in the details. Okay, as I did mention, we would want to have our customer ID basically linked. Okay, so we have our primary ID over here, and we want to bring in the foreign key. Okay, so basically this is going to be find, yes, next, the table will be customers, next, and it's going to be the customer ID, next, and this is just the name of the field at the top. So that's quite simple. I'm going to drag him over here, so he's right over there. Now, When we want to enter information, okay, just like Excel, we enter information. This order ID will automatically generate it over here. For this case, over here, we're gonna find our customer ID. From our table, it'll be, we have our customers. We know which ones they were. Okay, for example, if I want Bob to be the one who's ordering it, customer ID is Bob. Order date, it gives me a nice little date. Shipping date, and over here, when we're entering the data, again, we get that. So, we have created one record. Now you'd have more fields if you needed. Okay, so now I've created one record over here, and I have my customers table, my orders table. I'm currently in my orders table, okay? If you want to close a table, you just close it over there. You have two views for tables. One is the Datasheet View, which is like Excel. One is basically where you just create the kind of fields that you want and what type they will be. And then you enter the data over here, or you import the data into. Okay, to create a form, all you really need to do is go to Create Form. You could use form design and all. What this is basically doing, it's creating column-based scenarios. Okay, now, what happens is, everything in this column will be the same width, same height. This one, same width, same height, etc. Change that. What we're gonna try and do over here is basically reduce this. We could do it in the properties field, entering it over there. We're just going to try and bring it as small as possible. Okay, what we want to do is create 3 buttons. Okay, our form automatically is generated. We could literally go through and it will literally show the different order, which customer ID, when was the shipping date, order date, and all other data that we would create for a normal real world company. This is just a sample. Okay, so to create a button, all you do is go to design, and it's this one over here, button, and you've clicked on button. Bring him over here. Okay, he will come up there. Don't worry, that's fine. We'll bring him back. Okay, so we're gonna create go to the next record, go to the previous record, and save data. Okay, so in record navigation, go to next record, next. Let's give him text, next record. We could add pictures to the button if you wanted to. Next, and okay, there we go. He's over there. Now, having another button. Let's bring him in over here. He'll be previous record. Okay, you could change the text. There we go. Now, if you need to add more on this side, okay, you'd have to literally click over here and insert to our right, because we are going to the right of this. It adds another set column. Okay, now what I want to do is basically add one more button and click over there. This is going to be a record operation where it saves a record. Next. Okay, there we go. So now I can go to the next record. Oops, sorry, my mistake. This is basically the simple create view, which is called layout view. The form view is where you actually do use it. Okay, so next record, next record, next record, next record. That brings us to the new. You can't go any further. If I go to previous record, okay, there we go. Then next record, order date, it literally uses the system that was in orders. Okay, so it's basically giving us like a calendar, customer ID, once again, which customers we were using, shipping date. Okay, that 29th, that's fine. In this system, how can you resize this column? Okay, or any column, for example. Okay, click on that, click Shift. Okay, and then basically you can resize an individual column. Okay, so if I click Save Record, okay, I should have a fourth record over here. Let's go to Orders. Okay, and refresh all. It's created my fourth order. Now, let's look at some basic filtering and create a little bit more advanced filter and save it as a query. I want to filter based on, shall we say, names in ascending. Okay. Okay. Now what I want to do is basically create a advanced filter, which basically allows me to filter based on whatever my requirements. For example, I want to list all of them that have a last name that starts with, okay, S. And this asterisk is a special key, this little star, which allows basically anything after it. It searches for that. So now, if I was to run this, apply filter, and you'll see it's found all of my S's. For now, I think we've done enough. We've created tables, we've created filters, we've created forms, and the last thing I'm just going to show you is basically this one. I'm going to save it as a query, give it any name. In this case, I'll just keep it as query 1. So that's how we can create a basic query. Our future videos should go into in-depth the individual different parts and in more detail. Hopefully this video has helped. Thank you for watching.